Where are you from?
I'm from the DMV area. I was mostly raised up in Virginia. You know, like the Stafford, Alexandria, stuff like that. So I was all over the place, honestly. Woodbridge, Stafford, Alexandria. So I'm all over the place.
What was it like growing up in Alexandria and on the East Coast?
I mean, it depends on where you at in Alexandria. I would spend a lot of time in this place called Uptown. It was a little rough over there, but you know, I was pretty much, you know, away from that for the most part from a younger age. Mom and dad did a real good job, you know what I mean? So I didn't really see too much craziness until I started getting to my teens and I started jumping out there off the porch on my own.
And so do you come from an artistic family?
I would say that my dad started a business. It was more so like a hood business. He would do like jean jackets using rhinestones. He used like glitter glue, stuff like that. He became real big. It was called Cypher. That always inspired me in the back of my mind, but you know, in the forefront of my mind, it was more so football. But I don't really come from, I wouldn't say that. I come from a lot of entrepreneurs, but not, you know, they're not artists, all of them.
Did your father sort of design or fashion pursuits? Did that like inspire you or?
Nah, to be honest, my dad, he kind of did it off the whim. You know, he has like some unique handwriting, some unique styles. A lot of homies in the hood, a lot of homies here really liked it. So, I mean, it was only touching a couple of blocks, you know what I mean? So it wasn't as like global as we are today.
And what about your mother? Is your mother creative or?
Nah, my mom is just a hard worker. You know what I mean? So she worked for ExxonMobil, the headquarters, and she pretty much worked her way up with no college degree. So she's, you know, doing really well as of now.
At what point did you say to yourself, "I'm going to be a fashion designer"?
That's a funny story. So I was, like I said, I was football through and through. High school, I was always the best player. You know, even Little League up until high school, you know, I just had a natural talent. I had a D1 scholarship to Temple University, spent a little bit of time in military school, could get my SATs right. I was never really good at school anyway. Through that process in military school, I ended up going to Ohio. So I'm thinking I'm going to the league the whole time. Until I started doing more research and just seeing how the politics was in college. I mean, it really don't matter how good you are, you know what I'm saying, unless you just like a no-brainer talent. You just kind of got to stay in line. So I went in there and I was doing, I didn't really get a chance to study what I wanted to do. I wanted to study, be like a doctor, or maybe even get into some type of like law firm or something like that. But with football, in a way, I couldn't, there was no room on my schedule for that. So I had to settle for like sports management. But all through college, high school, everybody was like, yo, I love what you wear. You know, you wear your stuff differently, stuff like that. So I always knew in the back of my mind I was a trendsetter. Yeah, so once I figured like I didn't want to be a vegetable. One wrong hit in football, you know what I'm saying, it's through. So I wanted to figure out a way I could make millions a different way. Now that was always in the back of my mind. I started painting first. I knew I could draw pen to paper. But like one of my homies was like, yo, you should really put this on the canvas. I'm like, nah, you know what I mean? Like, I ain't really trying to do all that. You know, I just wanted to just draw on my little paper or whatever the case may be. Then one bright day, I just got the idea to do that. And it just started, my creativeness was just, I didn't know what I had unlocked. And I mean, it was all she wrote from there, honestly.
And so what made you go from painting to actual garments? Like what flipped the switch?
Okay, so my cousin, right? My cousin, his name is Raymond. You know, I got him tattooed on my hand. I don't know if y'all can see that. I love him dearly. So I lost him, you know, he had gotten into a car accident. That was like my best friend. He was a producer and he was very consistent in what he did, you know what I'm saying? No matter what, I'm guilty of this. I told him, you know, when he first started, I'm like, yo, them beats suck. Ain't nobody trying to hear that, you know what I mean? And then, you know, no matter what everybody was saying, he just kept working, and then he died on me. And I tried to figure out a way, what's the best way I could keep my cousin alive and people wear it, but not know they wearing it, you know what I mean? So that's why I came up with Alpha. So people think alpha male, alpha dog, alpha female, but that's really not what it is. It's just about being the alpha of your situation, you know what I mean? Overcoming those obstacles. And really taking on those trials and tribulations and finding that dog inside of you. The dog in our logo is just symbolic for the dog in you. That's why the dog is inside the egg. 100%. So yeah, he was definitely my motivation. Always has been, always will be, forever in my heart. You know what I mean? For sure.
Would you consider your brand luxury streetwear or just luxury or streetwear?
Nah, it's just strictly streetwear. We are for the people. We are not. We do make a few luxury pieces here and there, but to classify as luxury, nah, we're not luxury. We're very affordable, 100%. So yeah, no, not luxury at all. Streetwear.
Okay. How do you feel about Virgil Abloh's statement that streetwear is dead?
You know, it is very copy and paste, and that's where we kind of stand out, and that's why we've been so successful. I feel like we are a breath of fresh air to the consumers. They haven't really seen like our style of clothing. It's very cool, but it comes with a purpose. The message. One of our number one sellers is the mental health rhinestone. Mental health is real. 1-800 check on your dogs. It's a different spin. Yes, mental health is such a common issue, especially in the black community, but I wanted to do something different. Personally, I suffer from anxiety, and so from the outside looking in, my friends may think, oh, you know, he's living such a good life, you know, his business is doing really well, this, that, and the third, but, you know, I still go through my own mental trauma sometimes, you know, and sometimes I need somebody to talk to. So I made this shirt as a joke at first, just to make something so my homies can see it, you know, without me, you know, complaining to them like, don't call me, you know what I mean? So it's like, but when I did that, and we did it so well, it blew up, you know, everybody was taking wind to it, and it's just been still selling to this day. Our number one seller, I made it back in March, still selling today, so yeah.
So was that the piece where you were like, yo, this is crazy, or was it something before that?
Well, everything that we've dropped has been doing numbers since the first piece we dropped, but we've seen nothing like this mental health piece. It's so relatable. People, you know, the message behind it is real, you know, and it's something that, you know, I really went through. But nah, that piece has stood out over everything. But everything on our site sells. We have heat from top to bottom, but that one just, you know, leads the pack.
Yeah. As an entrepreneur, you know, especially in fashion, you could either be focused on money, you could be focused on, you know, socialite, etc. How do you like maintain that sincere desire to sort of like provide a message to your audience?
Okay, that's a really good question. So it's never really been about money for me. I always believe that if you chase your passion, then money will follow. You know, my heart is really in this. I've grown to really love this. Since I started, you know, I've never really, well, it was really COVID. You know, COVID had showed me like nothing is guaranteed. So I had to either buckle down, figure something out, or try to go and, you know, find a job or something like that. But I knew I was just way too more valuable to just, you know, clock in someone's job or, you know, stuff like that. So
facts.
You know, I just felt like that, and I was very confident in myself. So I just, you know, worked hard at it. I found my partner in college. You know, the way we met, it just was, it was like magic. You know, he first started working with me. I was just paying him to do designs because I would have trouble on Twitter, looking for designers on Twitter, you know, Fiverr. But my designs was too crazy, but none of them was mastering the designs of what I needed. And I just got tired of settling, and I found him. You know what I mean? And then he started working for me at first. I would pay him for the designs, and then like everything we was dropping hit after hit after hit after hit. And I just looked at him and I was like, dog, we might as well go into business. And it's been magic ever since. You know, and this is what you see today, like, you know, and we've only been in business for 1 year. We've generated about 6 figures, 1 year, you know, so it's like I said, you know, we hit it on all cylinders, everything.
Yeah. What's been the most memorable moment in your career so far?
The most memorable one, I had quite a few. You know, I got shouted out by the NFL. Somebody from Seattle Seahawks, but the number one thing that happened to me during my career is that I sold some clothes to Marlon Wayans. So he came to my site, you know, and he bought, you know, it's 1 a.m. I'm talking to my girl, and My partner called me at 1 in the morning. Now, this is just odd. He never does that, right? Normally he sleep. So he called me. He kept calling. You know, it can't be that important. He called me again. So I'm like, okay, this must be important. So I call him. He like, bro, you see who just hit us up? I'm like, who? He's like, bro, just go look, right? And I go look. I say, Marlon Wayans? Nah, that can't be the one. I see Hollywood Hills. I said, oh, you know, and it was just, you know, I was super excited about that. That had to be like the most memorable moment. Now we've had celebrities. Now that's, you know, that's nothing to us. But Marlon Wayans is a legend, you know, and he bought the mental health piece. You know, it's just such a strong message that reach out to thousands and whoever, you know. So yeah, that was the most memorable moment that I had. That was cool. But I'm looking forward to making many more. Yeah, 100%.
Have you faced any challenges on your journey?
Yes, every single day. Every day, whether it's a problem with the garments, whether it's a problem with the customers, everything is cool in the beginning. When you first start off, it's very minimal customers. But when you start getting thousands and thousands of customers, you know, and it's only 2 of us running this business, and we're managing thousands of packages, and so you may get those texts, hey, where's my package? When's it gonna come out? You get those bad reviews, you get the good reviews, you know what I'm saying? It's just a lot of stuff. There's never, as an entrepreneur, there's never a day where you're not gonna solve a problem. So y'all out there that wanna start something, just, you know, understand that you have to be, you know, on your P's and Q's and understand how you want your business, you know, layout to be. Prepare for the things that could happen, you know what I mean? And just always prepare for the worst. Let's just put it that way. Prepare for the worst, you know? So, yeah, so problems, you know, whether, you know, we spend too much money on something, we take a gamble on something, we buy too much inventory for it, doesn't sell. Now, that's rare that happens, but it could happen. It has happened. You know, like, just a lot of things, man, you know? So, yeah, it can get crazy. Yeah. It can get crazy.
Has your fashion career caused any conflicts in your personal life?
Yes, I have lost many friends, not in a bad way, but you know, when you go separate ways, you're doing separate things, you tend to can't keep those friendships. And me, as an entrepreneur, and how I look at any entrepreneur, if you want to be an entrepreneur, you have to be willing to sacrifice things, whether it's your time, you know, whether it's your money, whether it's friendships, relationships, whatever the case may be. If success is what you desire, then there's some things that you're gonna have to give up on that road. But it's okay, it's all in good love, you know. I still love those people that I don't talk to as much. It's not that I don't want to, I just don't have the time, you know, at all. So yeah, it has took a toll on certain things, but to me, those things, you know, outside of like certain friendships they did, certain things I did, certain things, but we grow up, man, we grown, you know. I have things I need to attend to and people that's counting on me to be at my best every day.
Okay. Fast fashion or slow fashion?
You know, fast fashion, that's something I would call like that Y2K stuff, like with the fonts and stuff like that. People try to say we're fast fashion and this, that, and third. I don't think that we're fast fashion. I think we're here for longevity. Our pieces have been selling for a year straight, even the old pieces. You know what I mean? So like the stuff we've made from the beginning that I get tired of looking at, still sells, right? So I wouldn't say fast fashion. I don't think we're fast fashion, but fast fashion is like, you know, I'm not a fan of it. Here today, gone tomorrow type of thing. So I would say the other one, what's the other one you said? Fast fashion or?
Slow fashion.
Slow fashion, for sure. No, slow fashion, 100%. I'm sorry, I couldn't remember that. Slow fashion, yes, without a doubt.
Do you ever think about the environmental impact of the fashion that you're creating?
Yes. So normally we do like those pop-up shops. We have a ton of fans, you know, that come up to our booth. They come and take pictures with them. They have our kids take pictures with us. We get abundance of DMs. Hey, I really love what you guys are doing. You guys have inspired me to, you know, start my brand or inspired me to keep going. And I understand what type of impact that we have. So here on the weekends, we tend to turn our warehouse into a workshop for the kids and here in, you know, for the youth out here in the community, for those who don't want to play a sport. for those who don't want to be a doctor or a lawyer. We want to be able to allow them to come here and work the machines and understand how it is to run a fashion business, and you see it in real time. Also, I have a bunch of mentees that I teach. So at these events, I normally bring some of them down and let them get a feel for what it's like to sell to a real customer, what it is to be on the floor. So not only am I a teacher, I'm a mentor, I'm a big brother, To some of these kids, I may even be looked at as a father figure, but that's not something that I take lightly, 100%. So yes, I do think about the impact that we cause with our messaging and everything like that.
If you could collab with any designer in the world, who would you choose?
Well,
living or deceased?
Well, this may sound like really cliche. I want to say Virgil, and I'm gonna tell you why I'm gonna say Virgil. It's just I would love to tap in with Virgil, R.I.P. rest his soul, because he really had the impact in the hype beast world and in the luxury world. So I wanted to know how, just to sit down and talk to him and understand, how did he get in those rooms coming from street fashion where he was? How did you get into? Now, again, we have our Supremes, we have our Babes, we have our higher end hype beasts, streetwear. But someone like Louis Vuitton, Gucci, they normally don't touch streetwear at all. They normally don't branch over into those, stuff. So I don't know. I would love to, collab with Virgil, make a piece with him. God rest his soul again. And I love to his family for sure.
For someone watching this who aspires to do what you do, what advice would you have for them?
So I would definitely tell you, man, consistency. And again, that may sound cliche, but it's true. Every day, for at least an hour, you should try to do something that's pertaining to your business. Whether it's talking about your business, whether it's working on the social media, whether it's, creating something on an iPad, whatever the case may be. Excuse me. And always remember why you started. You know what I'm saying? 100%. You got to remember why you started so you'll know how to finish. Think about something other than just yourself as well when you're starting that business. Think about, how you want someone to feel. What's the message? What's the mission? And how people are going to perceive it. But don't allow that part to stop you from being your creative self. So yeah, definitely, go into it with a clear mind. Time is going to be ups, it's going to be downs. This is a roller coaster. This is not a steady ride. So you have to be on your P's and Q's and ready to solve any problems. Entrepreneurs, especially what I do, you have to be a natural problem solver, 100%. So yeah, definitely stay consistent and understand what it is to be an entrepreneur. You can always have your own definition, but what it is to you, remember that. And that's what I would say.